The Everglades Amateur Radio Club Net will be starting in about 30 seconds. Hello all stations, hello all stations. Good evening. You're tuned in to the W4SVI Everglades Amateur Radio Club Weekly Informational Net. The purpose of this net is to gather club members and other amateur radio operators, talk about ham-related information, get on the air and chat. Have a good time. You don't need to be a member of the club to check into the net, and as always, we operate this net 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday evening on this repeater. As always, the net will yield the frequency to emergency or priority traffic at any time if needed. And our club is ARRL Special Services Club, and we do ham licensing testing, yearly field day operations, and other ham-related stuff. Our club is associated with the City of Homestead's Emergency Operations Center, the American Red Cross, and Miami-Dade Races Areas, and will assist in emergency communication support. Our regular club meetings occur the second Friday of each month at 7:30 p.m. at the John D. Campbell Agricultural Center, and that's located at 18710 Southwest 288th Street. So, my name is Steve. My call sign is W1HQL. I'm located here in Homestead, Florida. And let's get this net rocking and rolling. Let me get to the logbook here and ready to go.
Good evening, Steve. This is Kilo November 4, Delta Hotel Whiskey, David in Doral. No traffic.
Howard, Little Gables, no traffic. Howard, the CW code knocked you right out of there. Give me a call sign again.
Kilo November 4, Sierra, Foxtrot Mike.
4 Uniform Tango Lima, Ron, South Miami, no traffic.
Kilo November 4, Romeo Golf, Foxtrot, Eric in West Kendall, no traffic.
AK4FU, Frank in West Kendall, I have traffic.
Let's pause right there, acknowledging Kilo November 4, Delta Hotel Whiskey, Kilo November 4, Sugar Fox Mike, Kilo 4, Uniform Tango Lima, Kilo November 4, Romeo Golf Fox, and Alpha Kilo 4 Fox Uniform Vice President, Everglades Amateur Radio Club. That's Frank. AK4FU, go with your traffic, sir.
This is AK4FU. The American Red Cross is looking for volunteers for its Emergency Communications Division. If you have an interest in helping with emergency communications for the American Red Cross, please contact Mr. Eddie Rodriguez, area code 305-992-4024. Once again, that's area code 305-992-4024. That's all the traffic I have. Back to net, Steve.
Copy that traffic. Anybody have anything for AK4FU before we move on? All right, nothing heard. Just a couple of announcements real quick. First, I received a request from the Homestead Air Reserve Base for the November 2020 air over the air show that they have every 2 years. And we've been invited again as a club to set up our station and operate from the airbase. And they're also expressing an interest in working with a school, the STEM program of a school, so that we can organize and coordinate an actual ISS contact with students over there at the base. So that's some additional news that I got for the club for next Friday, and for those that are monitoring now. So if you want to be involved with that, let me know. It's going to be an exciting event. It's in the year 2020, November 2020, so we got a lot of time to plan for that. And hopefully we'll be able to get the school to get approved for a contact, and that'll be a great venue to have a contact, have the students interact with the astronauts in the space station, and also have a great audience watching that so they can see what amateur radio is all about also. This is W1HQL for the W4SVI Everglades Amateur Radio Club Net. We'll take some additional check-ins or comments.
Kilo 4,
Sierra, November Bravo, Jose, no traffic.
Kilo 4 Zulu Romeo Hotel, Steve, West Kendall, no traffic.
Steve, sorry, one more time on the call sign.
Kilo 4 Zulu Romeo Hotel, Steve, West Kendall, no traffic.
Copy. It's keyboard is acting up a little bit. It only got every other letter and number, so got it now. I've got KK Force, Kilo 4 Sierra November Bravo, and Kilo 4 Romeo Zulu Hotel. Thanks, Steve. Any additional check-ins? The bacon one on that last one could not copy your audio. Try it again. All right, try driving the audio a little bit more. I could hear you in the background, but your audio was too weak to pick it out.
Okay, KN4MFB, my name is Rich, up here in West Coast.
All right, Rich, we got it that time. I think you said Kilo November 4 Mike Sierra Bravo MSB. Did I get that right?
Sorry, I lost you there. I had another station come in on my other channel.
All right, no problem. Well, when you were driving the audio, you came through really good. Did I copy your call sign correctly as Kilo November 4 Mike Sierra Bravo? Over.
KN4 Mike Foxtrot Bravo. Over.
Roger, got it. Mike Foxtrot Bravo. Yeah, you need to drive that, Mike, just as you are. We can copy you really well now.
Roger that.
All right, got an additional announcement. We have an interim treasurer, Pete Reyes. He stepped up to the plate on Friday evening after our club meeting a week ago Friday, and expressed an interest in helping out until we have elections. So I want to thank, I'm trying to remember his call sign, Pete, Whiskey, oh my goodness. Well, whatever his call sign is, WB4DB, that's it, Whiskey Bravo 4 Delta Bravo. Pete, he, again, stepped up to the plate, so I just want to, he's probably not on right now, he's probably busy with family, but in any event, big thank you out to Pete for stepping up to the plate to take on that task until we have elections. Another important announcement, SARNet, the statewide amateur radio network in Florida. Some of you have probably heard about the possibility of lack of funding, or that they're going to not service the network any longer. That since has been redacted. The letter writing campaign was pretty effective, and per request from the Florida Department of Transportation, the SARNet DOT, they've taken down the Save SARNet message that they had on the website. So the Florida Department of Transportation has clarified that as August 15th, the directive that was given to field technicians that prevented them from supporting SARNet only applied to work that was billable. So they believe this clarification means that field technicians can once again support SARNet, but this has to be on their own time. So that's something that I think deserves a little bit more discussion in the future. But in any event, those of you that did interact with the Florida Department of Transportation and send out your letters or your emails, apparently we screamed loud enough where they realized that regressing back into the dark ages by not supporting that system was not a very good idea. So thanks for all out there that took the time and reached out to the Florida Department of Transportation. And a big thank you goes to the folks that help support that network and keep it running for us. Listening to the W4SV Everglades Amateur Radio Club Net. Let's take some more check-ins before I go on to the hurricane update and the hurricane watch net.
Whiskey X-ray 0, Whiskey X-ray.
Whiskey, Charlie 4, Bravo, Papa, Jose Antonio, good evening.
Kilo November 4, Sierra Lima Lima in West Kendall, no traffic.
Alpha Alpha 4, Sierra Whiskey, Stephen in Sunset, no traffic.
I've got Whiskey X-Ray, Zero Whiskey X-Ray. No, Whiskey X-Ray, yeah, Whiskey X-Ray, Zero Whiskey X-Ray. And Whiskey Charlie 4, Bravo Papa, Kilo November 4, Sierra Lima Lima, and Alpha Alpha 4, Sierra Whiskey. Don, do you want to give us an update and spare me the task of doing that?
Thank you. Well, I've been out for the last few hours. I'm probably not as up as you are. I mostly just wanted to say that my first go-to during the event would be this repeater, according to where things are happening. But we'll be listening on this repeater.
Okay, I'm not too sure I understood what you just mentioned. Are you saying that any updates or any activity will be occurring on this repeater as it relates to storm updates and whatnot?
Mostly listening to reports. Yeah, this would be the first repeater I'd go to. Unless the storm is centered way away from this area or something, this would be our primary repeater, if that's okay with the club. Okay,
copy. Yeah, I noticed when I was at the National Weather Service last week, the radio that they had, the station that you and your team go to, they had it already programmed up to 444.800, which is pretty neat to see. All right, Don, but in any event, do you have any storm update, or do you want me to proceed?
You're probably more up to date. I've been out this afternoon. My last update that I really got was more around noon.
Oh, all right, stand by. Folks, well, you know this Dorian is goofing around out there on us, and the National Hurricane Center is keeping a close eye on it. Fortunately, it's taken a little bit more of a northerly track, but the models, if you follow the models, and I shouldn't say follow the models, follow the guidance that the National Hurricane Center is providing all of us. You can see that there's a 400-mile variance to the actual track as it relates to the state of Florida. So they're putting it the center of that well north of us, well north of the Lake Okeechobee at this time. That can change. All right, the slightest early wiggle, and that's all it takes, is a little wiggle. It could end up that storm tracking further south and having more of an effect on us. It's a compact storm. It's actually going to be entering into favorable waters once it clears the southern part of the Caribbean and passes past Puerto Rico and into more open waters as it's approaching the Bahamas, and those waters are quite warm. So there's a remote possibility of some rapid intensification. I'm not sure yet. The next 24 to 48 hours will be a good determining factor, sort of narrow down the track and the guidance so they give us a better idea of what's going on. A lot of the storm, the dirty side of the storm, which these always tend to be the northeast portion of the storm, since it's passing to the north of us, will be favorable for us. But again, stay on guard and just consider looking over your plan and whatever supplies that you may need. This is a good time to be doing that. I'm not shuttering. I'm not planning any evacuations or anything like that unless something really significant occurs. We do have plenty of time for that. But in any event, the National Weather Service is indicating that the center is redeveloping farther north than what they had anticipated, and the forecast track was shifted maybe 30 to 60 miles, nautical miles, north and east of the previous track. So that's a good sign for us. So with that, just keep an eye on it, and welcome to Florida. Go ahead.
Two things to add. I agree with everything. That's that. I was just at a store, and nobody's shopping for anything pre-hurricane at the moment. So if it's something that you were going to get anyway, canned foods or something, what a great time. There's no crowd. And the other is that we're still having our every afternoon nasty thunderstorms regardless. And so we're taking reports that focus on the funnels. There have been a number of them in the last several days. Funnels and waterspouts. And a funnel being like a tornado, only it's not reaching the ground. And flooding.
All right, copy. That's interesting. All right, we'll certainly stay alert for that. And just one last passing note. As the emergency manager for Homestead, I did send out a notification to all supervisors and managers, and the last thing I mentioned was don't cancel your weekend plans yet. All right, so just keep your fingers crossed. It still might be a little bit windy and occasional storms or whatever, but if it stays true to track as the Hurricane Center is predicting at this point, we may have a favorable weekend, at least in our neck of the woods. But let's call it a 50-50 chance at this point. All right, enough said about the hurricane. But what I will, not the hurricane, the tropical storm Dorian, but I will mention to you in a moment after we break for some check-ins, the hurricane net. I'll give you some information on that. You're listening to the W4SVI Everglades Amateur Radio Net. My call sign for ID is W1HQL. Let's take some check-ins now.
KG4RSA, Kilo Golf 4, Romeo, Sierra Alpha, executive, no traffic.
Hey, Linda. Good to hear you. Hope everything's going well with you. Thanks for checking in.
Whiskey 0, Lima, America, Baker, Logan, Palmetto Bay, no traffic.
KG4RSA and Whiskey 0, Logan, Alpha Bravo. Gotcha.
Number 4, Hotel Golf Zulu, Jeff.
November 4, Hotel Golf Zulu. Gotcha, Jeff. Thanks for checking in. All right, the Hurricane WatchNet, or the HWN, says that with Tropical Storm Dorian forecast to become a Category 1 hurricane, possibly early Tuesday afternoon, Puerto Rico will begin to feel the storm's effects later that day. According to the ARRL, if the storm tracks a bit to the north, the island could take a direct hit. Dorian is expected to make landfall on Thursday, August 29th, on the eastern part of the Dominican Republic. The Hurricane WatchNet is planning to activate at 1400 UTC. That's noon. 1400 UTC. That's noontime. No, that's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock our time. On Wednesday, August 28th, on both 14.325, that's 20 meters, 14.325, and on 40 meters, 7.268, and will remain in operation until further notice. If you're interested, just monitor those two frequencies. Do not interact unless it's absolutely necessary. They do have trained individuals on those frequencies that have their beams pointed towards the islands and whatnot, and to handle any traffic. But if you hear someone calling for assistance and no one is replying and you're the only station there, well, you're a lifesaver then. Try to interact with them. But just strictly monitor 14.325 and 7.268, and you may be able to hear some interesting events going on as the storm passes over those islands. Any comments or suggestions or comments or anything like that, please come now. Okay, also, since we're talking about HF, look for a special event station, K4MIA, stroke 8. that's K4MIA/8, to be active between September 13th and the 22nd. This is the United States POW-MIA Special Event Station. The activity is to honor and support our veterans. Operators are going to be Linda, November 8, Lima, Romeo, Sierra, and Metro, Whiskey 8, Mike, Echo, Tango, acting as a sister station from Ohio for the 4th year. This event was originated by Mike, K4MIA, from Florida, with other sister stations involved. Details can be found about this on the ARRL website under On the Air. And it's a special event, and the call letters for the special event when you go on to ARRL is K4MIA. You'll also, when you do get your September QSD, you'll see a write-up in September QSD magazine also. So that's a special event station for the United States POW and MIA veterans. So if you are involved in HF, be sure to try to participate with that and show your support. This is W4SVI, W1HQL, Everglades Amateur Radio Club, taking check-ins. Lastly, to close out the net, the ARRL board, this is an ARES notification, Amateur Radio Emergency Services notification. The ARRL Board of Directors Committee and the headquarters administrative staff are continuing their efforts to enhance the Amateur Radio Emergency Service, as you know as ARES. And it's a major ARES plan has been adopted, providing new direction going forward. In addition, a standardized training plan has been adopted, and a new ARES Emergency Communicator Individual Task Book has been approved and is being published as we speak. At its July meeting, the ARRL Board considered the report of its Public Service Enhancement Working Group and then made these recommendations. A change log was proposed for the task book that will highlight changes made as the document is periodically revised and updated. ARES position guidelines were posted to the online ARES workbook, and a major revision and update of ARRL's Introduction to Emergency Communications course, and is now designated as EC-001. The course is now available at no cost, and Frank, AK4FU, has relayed this information to us at the club on many meetings, to any ARES registrant, and a tutorless format has been added as a parallel path for completing the course. Additional tutors were recruited to assist in handling the initial surge of interest. A challenge path directly to the final exam is also being implemented. An updated and introduction of EC-016, which is Public Service and Emergency Communications Management for amateur radios, for radio amateurs, will follow in the next few months. So, some forward movement and momentum in relation to amateur radio emergency services. So for those of you that are interested in emergency communications as amateur radio operators, I would strongly recommend you get up onto the ARRL site and reach out and get the Introduction to Emergency Communications course. I took that a few years back, and it was pretty intense. But I guess they streamlined it now. And it'd be interesting. I probably should take it again as a refresher anyhow. But in any event, motivate yourselves and go for it. You're listening to the W4SV Everglades Amateur Radio Club Net. We got about 2 more minutes left. Let's take some more check-ins.
KM4UAQ, portable in Opelika, Eric.
Hey, Eric, I got the UAQ. I just can't remember the first.
Kilo Mike 4, Uniform Alpha, Quebec.
All right, man, we got you down. Thanks for checking, Eric. This is a good time for you guys to get up on Google the plans for building a wire antenna for your handheld radios. building that dual band or a mono band type wire dipole in the event you need them for emergency comms. So good time to try that out. Great experimentation. It's fun to do. And you'll be surprised at the results as compared to a little stubby antenna or a little short whip antenna. Adapting a wire antenna, wire dipole, and a J-pole, a wire J-pole, you'll be amazed at the results on how it increases your gain, antenna gain, as compared to a short antenna. Folks, you've been listening to the W4SVI Everglades Amateur Radio Club informational net. My name is Steve. My call sign is W1HQL. Thanks for tuning into the net. Thanks for checking in. Hope you enjoyed the net and got some information out of it. And looking forward to next week, Tuesday, same time, same place, same station. Don't blow away and have a safe holiday weekend. W1HQL will be out.
Kilo Golf 4, Uniform Bravo, traffic start.
All right, Annie, got you down. Thanks for checking in.